Have you ever felt like something was holding you back in your business, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it? If so, today's video is for you. Because I want to share some of the invisible things that were actually holding me back, and these invisible things were actually people in my life. Now, as we go, I'm going to change the names, mostly to protect the guilty, but I want you to see if any of these 5 people are showing up in your life. Now, the truth is, it wasn't that these people were actually holding me back, it's that I was allowing them to because I was spending more time with them than the other people that I really needed to spend time with. Like they say, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But what if some of those people are actually holding you back? Now, I know what you might be thinking. Well, I know who not to spend time with, and that's the obvious people. But these 5 people were actually invisible to me. I actually thought I should have been hanging out with them, when in reality is when I spent less time with them is when my business started to take off. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. It's when you think you're spending time with the right people, but in reality, you're not. Now, I want to describe these 5 different people, and there's going to be certain times in your life that you might want to lean into this. But when you're creating a business, you definitely don't. At least that's what I personally experienced. Now, the first type of person is the person who will always support you. Now, you might be wondering, what are you talking about, Mark? I want to be surrounded by people that support me. Hold on one second here. If you're surrounded by people who support you, and by supporting you, it means letting you off the hook, not holding you to higher expectations, and convincing you that maybe you need a little bit more time off, a little bit of time for recovery, and maybe you did enough for today. Can you kind of see how this would steer us in the wrong direction? Now, I had many of these people in my life, and a lot of them were people who had been hanging out with me for a very long period of time. They knew me as a person, and because they knew my past, they wanted to protect me from doing things that I had never done before. And so they would try and convince me to take a step back, that I wasn't necessarily cut out for this, or that there was going to be failure at the end, and they didn't want me to experience that. That's why this was the first person that I had to stop hanging out with. So do you have that support person in your life? The kind of person who will let you off the hook for anything? If so, it's cool to have them around, and I'd give them an extra hug and a kiss today, but it's definitely not an important part of your business support team. So keep looking. Now, person number 2 is the yes person. You guys all know who this person is. They say yes and they agree with everything that you put out into the world. Now, these are your greatest fans, and you definitely want to have them around. You just don't want them to be a part of your inner circle. These are the people who won't challenge anything that you say, and everything you touch turns to gold. Only you know that it really doesn't. So yes, we need to have some of these people in our corner, but please don't depend on them for any advice or direction that you need in your business. Once again, if you have person number 2 in your life, definitely give them a hug, but bless and release them from asking them business advice and tips. Now, before we get into the third person, if you're enjoying this video, definitely smash the like button and subscribe for more. Now, the third type of person is really an invisible type. And it's the kind of person who's actually hit the goals that you've hit, but they don't have anything close to the same core values as you. Maybe there's somebody who's like crushed it in business, but they don't have a family life anymore. It's really suffered. They haven't spent any time with their kids. Now, for me personally, I wouldn't want to be hanging around with this person because the actions and the behaviors that they take, I will naturally start to take. And there is no way that I'm going to be putting my family on the back burner again. Been there, done that. That's why the people who have had success in their business, we have to take this a little bit of a step further and ask ourselves, do they have the same values as us, or have they allowed that success to actually throw them off in other areas of their life that's important to us? If so, keep looking. There's another mentor, there's another team, and there's another inner circle. Random people and friends and family that you've been hanging out with forever. They don't have the same desires as you. They don't have the same goals or dreams as you. They don't want to create a business, and sometimes it might feel like you're abandoning them if you take a step back. But let me tell you, all of the people you hang around with are contagious. Sometimes you can lift other people up, but when you have a larger group of friends, it's much easier for them to lift you down. Now, when we talk about these 5 different types of people, I want to let you know there is absolutely nothing wrong with them. Some of them are going through their own journey where they've actually struggled with doing this very specific thing that you're doing now. Some people haven't hit your level of growth. Some people have no desire to make any changes or create a business. And some people don't have that purpose to make the true impact that we want to make in the world like you do. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. And it doesn't mean you absolutely have to stop hanging out with them. But I would highly suggest you spend less time with them and more time with the right people. Now, you might get to this point and be thinking, there's a lot of power of who I hang out with, but I need to find a new circle of friends. Now, over the last 11 years, I've actually built up my own inner circle, the group of people that I lean into, that I share my takeaways with, that are a powerful group of business leaders, that are the right type of people that I know that I need to hang out with more. And for the first time ever, I'm actually opening up my inner circle to you, my YouTube video watchers. Now, if you head below this video and click the join button, you can see how our powerful Inner Circle Elite team opens up the door of our network and allows you to connect with the right people, plus get a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes information from us here as a team, as well as to help you network, develop new skills, and make sure you're in the right room. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. Thank you for what you do out there every single day, and keep leading from the front, leader.